Yo, what is up guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So as we know, Tyson Fury is due to return to the ring this December. Now he is supposed to be fighting Deontay Wilder in that third fight. Of course, in that second fight, both guys had a rematch clause in case they lost. Deontay Wilder has exercised his rematch clause, but we are no closer to that fight getting signed, obviously due to the circumstances that we find ourselves in. And Frank Warren basically confirmed as such. And Frank Warren said that Tyson Fury told him, regardless if it's Deontay Wilder or not, he wants to fight in December. He wants to stay active. So the question to ask really, if it's not Deontay Wilder in December, realistically, who could his opponent be? Now let's have a look through the rankings and ascertain who's most realistic and who we would like to see him fight. So obviously Tyson Fury is the champion. Alexander Povetkin is the interim WBC champion. Now Povetkin can get scratched off right away as he is fighting Dillian Whyte in that rematch in November. So both Povetkin and Dillian Whyte are no-go zones for Tyson Fury. Of course he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. We'll see what happens with that. Alexander Usyk is fighting Derek Chisora on the 31st of October. So that's basically a no-go. Luis Ortiz. Now, Luis Ortiz doesn't have a fight scheduled. He is kind of, looking to come back towards the end of this year in like a tune-up fight. But right now, Luis Ortiz is available. And I think Luis Ortiz would take a Tyson Fury fight. If Tyson Fury fought Luis Ortiz in December, I wouldn't be dead against it, to be honest. I would think it's an okay fight. Yeah, Luis Ortiz, he's coming off a loss and, he's getting on in age, but he's not a terrible fighter. He's a pretty good fighter, decent technique. He can punch a bit, southpaw. He's got some decent boxing skills. So, yeah, despite the guy being on the downward slide, I wouldn't mind Tyson Fury versus Luis Ortiz in December. I wouldn't hate it, but I think the general fan reception to that would be disappointment. Basically because Luis Ortiz is old, he's coming off a loss, and I don't think many people would be up for that fight, to be honest. But me personally, I wouldn't mind a Luis Ortiz fight at this point. If Tyson Fury is going to fight in December and it's not Wilder, Luis Ortiz is one of the best available options, in my opinion. You've got Andy Ruiz Jr. Now, the guy doesn't have a fight scheduled, but he has said that he's coming back early next year. He's basically just joined up with Eddie Reynoso. He's getting used to that partnership, and he plans on fighting early 2021. So Andy Ruiz Jr. has ruled himself out of 2020. So Andy Ruiz Jr. is extremely unrealistic. As I mentioned with Dillian Whyte, he's fighting Povetkin again in November. So Dillian Whyte is out of the question. Joseph Parker is fighting Junior Farr in December. So Joseph Parker is out of the question. Daniel Dubois is fighting Joe Joyce late November, so Dubois is out of the equation. You do have Oscar Rivas at number 8. Now, Oscar Rivas, he doesn't have a fight scheduled right now, so Oscar Rivas could be a viable opponent for Tyson Fury. Oscar Rivas, he's a decent fighter, a short heavyweight, kind of basic, but the guy does hit hard. He's kind of explosive, he's exciting to watch. And like we see here, he is ranked. So Oscar Rivas could be a good choice for Tyson Fury. British fans do know who this guy is because he fought Dillian Whyte, made a good account of himself. He dropped Dillian Whyte. So Oscar Rivas wouldn't be the worst opponent, in my opinion, for Tyson Fury. I certainly wouldn't complain or cry about it. Filip Hrgović at number 9. I believe Filip Hrgović is fighting in November against Rydell Booker. So Filip Hrgović, he's not really realistic at this point. At number 10, now this is the interesting one for me, Michael Hunter. I believe Michael Hunter is a free agent. Sorry, a free agent. My voice went there. I believe Michael Hunter is a free agent. Obviously, he was with Matchroom before, but Eddie Hearn didn't renew his contract. So Michael Hunter right now is available. He doesn't have a fight scheduled. He's been pretty impressive at heavyweight, in my opinion. He's beaten a couple of unbeaten prospects in Martin Bakole and Sergey Kuzmin. He's got an interesting style. He's a smaller heavyweight, but he's very quick. Quick hands, quick feet, great punch variety. He's got good output. Michael Hunter is a really tricky boxer. If you're asking me what opponents I like the most in the top 10 for Tyson Fury, realistically in December, I think Michael Hunter would be that guy, to be honest. I would love to see Tyson Fury fight Michael Hunter in December. In fact, these guys actually fought in the amateurs. Tyson Fury won, but Michael Hunter basically said that he got robbed, so there is some backstory there. I would love to see Tyson Fury fight Michael Hunter in December, though, quite frankly, I don't really expect it to happen. We saw who Tyson Fury fought in between the Wilder fights, Otto Wallin and Tom Schwarz, so I'd be very surprised if he fought someone like Michael Hunter or even Luis Ortiz, to be honest. At 11, you've got Joe Joyce. Obviously, Joe Joyce is fighting Dubois. 12, Derek Chisora. Chisora's got a fight booked, and Tyson Fury's beaten him twice. At 13, you've got Charles Martin. Could they pull that off? Charles Martin, former heavyweight champion. Maybe they could get away with it. I'm not really interested in a Charles Martin fight. At 14, you've got F.A. Ajagba. But, Ajagba's a prospect. He looked awful in his last fight, so I think that fight's very unrealistic. I don't really want to see that fight, to be honest. And at number 15, which I think could be the most realistic option for Tyson Fury, is Ajit Kabayel. Kabayel, former European champion, unbeaten as we see, 20-0. He's actually got a win over Derek Chisora. He actually outboxed Derek quite convincingly that fight. So he's got a bit of form in his past, like I said, European champion, beat Chisora, decent boxer, and ultimately he would be cheap. Right now we have no crowds. So someone like Kabayel right now could be ideal for Tyson Fury in December. Me personally, I don't hate the fight because I think Kabayel is pretty good, but at the same time, I would rather see something a bit better quality than Ajit Kabayel. I really want to see Kabayel fight, someone like Helenius, someone along those lines before he steps up to real world level. But yeah, quite frankly, if Tyson Fury does fight in December, I think Ajit Kabayel could be the most realistic option, to be honest. He's ranked, he's unbeaten, he's got a win over Chisora, which they can use to market the fight, and like I said, he's cheap, so Kabayel, don't be surprised if Tyson Fury fights Kabayel in December, should he fight and it's not Wilder. I really wouldn't be shocked at all. But one thing we can come to the conclusion, a lot of these guys are booked. So you're not going to see Tyson Fury fight Usyk or Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker. These guys are all unavailable. Basically, the best names for Tyson Fury are Luis Ortiz, Oscar Rivas, and Michael Hunter. They're the best names available for Tyson Fury right now. So yeah, you could say slim pickings. I really like the prospect of a Michael Hunter fight. I think that'd be a very good fight, but I'll be surprised if it does happen. But yeah, slim pickings, but there are some good fights there in my opinion. Anyway, share your thoughts below. If Tyson Fury doesn't fight Deontay Wilder, who do you expect him to fight? One more thing to consider, don't be surprised if Tyson Fury fights somebody who is not ranked in the top 15, because the WBC do have a habit of basically elevating guys into their rankings when a champion wants to fight them. We saw that with Devin Haney and Yuriorkis Gamboa. A couple of months before, Gamboa wasn't even ranked in the top 15 in the WBC. When Devin Haney wants to fight him, magically he becomes rated in the top 10. So, listen, you could see Tyson Fury fight a name who's not even in that top 15 right now. So yeah, don't be surprised. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.